All right. So you're thinking you want to move to Austin. You're trying to figure out what is there to do around that town. I've heard about things like Town Lake and things like that, but what else is there to do? Guys, you found the right video, you found the right channel. Chris Pesek, broker associate at Pesek Properties and the Dripping Springs home team here. And what I do on this channel is I answer questions from people like you who are constantly calling us and saying, hey, I want to move to Central Texas, but I don't know about this. I don't know about that. What we're going to talk about in this video, we're going to talk about things to do outside. So let's talk about what is there to do around Central Texas starting right now.
I talk a lot about hiking and things like that, guys. I love the outdoors, and so this is really some of my favorite things to talk about. So I'm just going to mark a few of my favorite spots, and you can go back and look more into them on your own. Or if you've got questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to me or put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer questions. If you are a lake person, I mean, it starts with downtown Austin. And I'll zoom in again here a little bit. So this lake that runs through downtown Austin, it used to be called Town Lake, and I still call it Town Lake. And anybody that's lived in Austin more than about 6 years calls it Town Lake. It is now called Lady Bird Lake. You can see here, and it's the hike and bike trail. Okay, but this is a constant level lake. It's fed by the Colorado River. And it's beautiful. There's a really nice boardwalk, and you can see great views here. You got up the boardwalk at Lady Bird Lake. You can see these amazing views of downtown. This place on pretty weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it is absolutely packed with people. People have stand-up paddle boards and kayaks out on the lake. I mean, this is the hub of Austin, and people come to Austin to get outside, and this is the hub of it, Lady Bird Lake or Town Lake. Now, going out from there, you can see the Colorado River here. There's a lot of stuff that you can do on the Colorado River. When I mentioned a while ago being up at the Pennybacker Overlook, okay, that's this area here, and it says the Colorado River, but right about here, there's a secondary dam, and from there up this way, it is known as Lake Austin. Okay, and from this dam down, it is known as Town Lake or Lady Bird Lake. Okay, so this is Lake Austin. Lake Austin is really, really popular with people who do skiing behind boats, knee boarding. I don't do a lot of this, sorry. So you got to kind of bear with me, but knee boarding, surfing behind boats, the wake surfing and all of that. Lady Bird Lake, or I'm sorry, Lake Austin is very, very popular. And Lake Austin comes all the way up here to to Loop 620. And I'll talk a little bit about that also. So this is all Lake Austin. And this, again, on pretty days, man, this thing is full of boats with people doing their thing on the back of boats. Also, great fishing. I've personally, from this part of Lake Austin, I've pulled 6 and 7 pound bass out of this area. I know people who've caught 12, 13 pound bass. Great fishing. Lake Austin also has really good fishing. It's gone down a little bit lately. I won't get into that. But again, whatever you want to do on the water, there is a place to do it. Now, I mentioned this dam here. Above this dam, this water here is Lake Travis. Okay, Lake Travis is big. It's got two waterways that come into it. The Colorado River, you can see here, the Colorado River comes in from here. And then this is the Pedernales River that comes in here, but it's fed by 2 lakes. This is where Austin gets a vast majority, and the entire area gets a vast majority of their water. This is the beginning of technically the Highland Lakes chain, and this is where we get our water storage, a lot like Colorado does, and California. Most of our water comes out of above ground storage. Okay. Again, Lake Travis, beautiful, great for boating, great for skiing, great for, wakeboarding and all of that stuff. Great for fishing as well. And that's where Lake Travis is. Okay. I'm going to back this out just a little bit more and give you more of an overall of the area. Okay. So what we were just talking about, Lake Travis is right here. Okay, and then the Highland Lakes chain just continues up the Colorado River to here. So here at Marble Falls, we've got Lake Marble Falls. We've got Lake LBJ. We've got Inks Lake. And then up here, this big one here is Lake Buchanan. Now, if you're looking to purchase something on a water, I would highly recommend the Inks LBJ, Marble Falls, and then to a little bit lesser extent, Lake Austin. And I say lesser extent, it's a lot more expensive down here. But the reason I mentioned these, Inks, LBJ, and Marble Falls, is because these are constant level lakes. Okay. The water coming down from the Colorado River is constantly being released and it's stored. So if you've got a boat dock, it's only going to fluctuate about a foot or two during most times. Now, if we've got a huge drought like we had this year, it fluctuates a little bit more, but your water is going to be more constant level in this area. Lake Buchanan, it can drop quite a bit. And Lake Travis will drop quite a bit because they're draining that to release water for downstream. But this is the area that I personally would look for waterfront property if it were me. Now, just in terms of getting out, again, you've got a lot of good boating, a lot of good fishing and hiking in these areas. And then same thing down here. This is Canyon Lake. I mentioned it earlier. Boating, fishing, hiking, and this is the Colorado River down here. And then this is the area that's really known for tubing. You've got the Colorado River, the Comal River. Colorado comes through here. Comal comes through here. San Marcos River starts in San Marcos and comes through. And this is also great tubing in this area. And then the Blanco River kind of winds down through here and joins the San Marcos River. And the Blanco River is also good for not so much for tubing. People don't tube it as much, but they do get out and fish and swim and things like that on the Blanco River. So if you need to get on water, these are major rivers and really great areas for getting on water. If you want to get out and hike, some of my favorite hiking right up in here is a place called Reimer's Ranch. And Reimer's Ranch is on the Pedernales River. Remember, I mentioned the Pedernales River that comes up here into Lake Travis. Reimers is on the Pedernales River. That is a great place to hike. You also have another really nice spot in here called Hamilton Pool. And that's a great little hiking area. You've got a lot of little hiking spots in and around Austin. I mentioned on the last video, there's a Violet Crown Trail that starts in downtown Austin and comes all the way out down to Buda. It's 20 something miles long, and it's great for bikes. It's great for hiking. It's great for running, and it's becoming really, really popular as they extend it down towards Buda. So really, really good area for hiking and biking. One of the other things that people really love to do out here, and it's you see it every weekend, is if you are a bike rider, this area through the hill country, and I'll just draw a giant circle. Actually, let me get rid of all of the water stuff. But this area out through the west side of Austin, out to Fredericksburg, Comfort, it looks like a huge area, but if you're a real bike enthusiast, you understand you can cover some ground. This area out here is where people ride their bikes. You've got the hill country, you've got old back roads, country roads that wind, and it is absolutely beautiful. So whether you're on a pedal bike, a lot of motorcycles hit this area. Eric and I'll just get out in our Jeep, take the tops off, and just go for a drive on a Sunday afternoon. And absolutely amazing, especially if you can time it with a sunset, because you get some beautiful sunsets in this area also. So just wanted to point out that even just going for a ride through the hill country, absolutely incredible. So to sum up, if there is something that you want to do outside, you can do it in Austin. If you can't find it in Austin, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit more, if you like to saltwater fish like I do, you are about 3.5 miles from this area down in here, the Texas coast, anywhere from, really Louisiana all the way south to Brownsville. You can fish everywhere down here. Redfish, drum, trout, flounder, if you can get offshore. There's even billfish fishing out here in the Gulf of Mexico. It takes a little bit to get to it, but if you're a fisher person, you can get out and fish. And then if you don't want to travel that far for fishing, obviously I've mentioned a lot of these areas in and around Austin, but one thing that I want to point out to you is this area between New Braunfels and Canyon Lake. You've got the rivers that come out of Canyon Lake. Texas Parks and Wildlife has started doing trout stocking, rainbow trout, and they started doing it quite a few years ago. But one of the interesting things about this area right here is when they stopped, or when they started stocking trout in this run along the Guadalupe River. Canyon Lake is so deep and the water gets so cold at the bottom of it that when it comes out of the dam, the trout actually live year round and they've started reproducing. So Texas now has its own reproducing population of rainbow trout in this run from the dam through what they call the horseshoe. This right here is known as the horseshoe. There's a reproducing population of trout in here, and you can fly fish. A lot of people fly fish this area. It's gotten very, very popular in recent years. And you can fly fish this whole area, and they release trout down through here. But this is we've got a native population now, and this is that area that they're found in. And actually, as I zoom in here, I'm going to point out one of my other favorite things. Whitewater Amphitheater is an outdoor music venue that is absolutely phenomenal. A lot of great acts, especially if you like country and Texas country, but there's even other acts that come through here. Willie Nelson, Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers have played there, just to name a few. So that's where Whitewater Amphitheater is.